Hi, this is Marloomz Creations, and today I'm going to show you how to make Cookie Monster on your Rainbow Loom. I also have a smaller version of Cookie Monster on my channel, but this is an updated, and this one has the cookie in the belly. If you want to do this updated version, but leave out the cookie, you can just make all these bands the same color as Cookie Monster, which is blue, and not make the cookie. For the actual chocolate chip cookie, I'm using Rainbow Loom's caramel bands, so you're going to need caramel bands. And for the chips, I'm just using black bands. You can choose any color you want, but those are the colors that I chose. And for the blue, these are Rainbow Loom too, I forgot the name of them. And you can use jelly blue or any color blue that you want, the one that you think matches Cookie Monster the most. So you're going to need black bands, blue, and caramel, and I'm also using 2 large pony beads for the eyes. You can use white bands, but it just won't come out the same, so I prefer using the pony beads. For the cookie part, I'm going to show you that you have a choice to use tiny pony beads. They're smaller than the one I'm using for his eyes, and they will look like chips, or you can just use bands. I think they look nice either way. If you're using the beads, what you're going to do is you can grab a piece of dental floss and you place your small black band on there. That's supposed to be the chip. And you grab 2 caramel bands and place them on there as well. Then you pinch the bead, take the tip of your floss, go through the bead again, and you pull the bead onto 2 caramel bands, and that will be like a chip. And the way I'm doing it today is I'm just using the bands. You are going to just grab a single black band, wrap it around your hook 4 times, grab 2 caramel bands, and just pull them on and over, and that's your little chip on 2 bands. And then on this one I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I have 11, and you can do as many as you want, but this is kind of the pattern that I'm using for today, and that's how many chips. So make 11 of these, and then grab your caramel bands as well. You're going to need just to use regular caramel bands that don't have chips on them, and then we can get started on making Cookie Monster. Step is we're going to need to make his eyes on the loom, and then his arms and legs. And for the eyes, my hook fits through the pony bead, so I can just put the bead onto the hook, grab 2 of the blue bands that I'm going to be using for today, pull them through, and that's it. So you pull them through, and then you do the same thing with 2 more. And if you don't have a hook that fits through your bead, see, this one is the same size bead, but it doesn't fit. So you take a piece of dental floss and you grab your bead and put your dental floss through the bead, and then grab your 2 blue bands, hold the bead, take the tip of the floss, go through the bead again, pull slowly because it can come out, and that's how you get 2 blue bands through each bead, and that's going to be Cookie Monster's eyes. If you don't have pony beads for eyes, you can use a band. You can just use a white band wrapped around your hook 4 times, and then you would transfer those onto 2 blue bands. You would pull these onto here, and that would be Cookie Monster's eyes. It's not going to look the same as if you used the bead, because we even use a Sharpie to add a little dot. And that's what I like to use with my figures, is the pony beads. So once you've done this, then we are going to make his arms. So the first thing is you're going to grab 2 blue bands, and you're going to place it on the top 2 pegs. It doesn't matter, you can place it anywhere you want. And you're going to go down 5 times. and then grab a single and wrap it around that peg 4 times. So that's one arm. You can do that again. And then grab a single, wrap it around that peg 4 times, and that's one arm. And then you can loop that. Got my other hook. And then for the, you can remove this, and then for the leg, we're going to be tripling bands. So you're going to grab 3 bands at a time, and you're going to go down 6 times using 3 bands at a time. So these are 3 bands, and we're going to go down 1 more time, so that makes 6. And then take a single and wrap it around that peg 4 times. And then do the same thing on this side. Using 3, go down 6 times and then cap it. This is the other one I just added. And now we're going to loop them. This is the other leg. And it should be triple bands going all the way down. 6 down actually, sorry. So we loop that set. Grab your spare hook, pull it off, and that is Cookie's legs and arms. So now we can begin by making his entire body now with the cookie belly. And remember, if you don't want the cookie belly, you can just use the blue bands. So grab extra blue bands in case you just want his belly to be blue. So the first step is grab his eye and place it on these 2, and make sure that your loom is set up where the middle row is above the other 2 and that the arrows are facing you. So 2 here and 2 here. And this is using 2 bands only. So 2 blue here, 2 here, 2 here, and 2 here. 2 here in the middle. And 2 here. So this is what yours should look like so far. Switch to black and place 1 set here, 1 here, and 1 there. So that's what it should look like so far. And then switch to your blue bands again and turn in from this peg to the middle, and the same here. And then we're going to make his neck, and then after the neck is the cookie. And if you don't want the cookie, then you just place blue bands everywhere. So we made the neck. Your chocolate chips, and grab your caramel bands as well. And the first thing is you're going to grab just 2 caramel bands without a chocolate chip, and place it to the left, and place it to the right, and 1 in the middle as well. So that's what you should look like right there. Then grab a chip and place a chip on this one. On this one. And on this one. Now grab single caramel bands, 2 of them. Place 2 there, 2 there, and 2 here. Then switch to your chip again, and place a chip here, and a chip here. Switch to the 2 caramel bands again, and place it here. And 1 here, and 1 in the middle again. And then again 2 more caramel bands, and then go on the diagonal from the middle to the outer peg right there. Then push all these down, and we are going to overlap some bands over here. So what you're going to do is grab 2 caramel bands, and if there's a chip there, you just place 2 bands. Then the next one has it has single bands, so you place a chip. So it's the opposite of what's underneath it. So we place 2 bands here, and then a chip. The next one is 2 bands, and then a chip right here. And then the same on this side, 2 bands. And then a chip on these 2. 2 single bands. And a chip. Now grab a single caramel band and wrap it around this peg only 3 times. This one right here. And the same on this one, just 3. Then grab a single caramel band, place it on these 3 for a triangle band. Place it on these 3, and then these 3. So we place 1, 2, 3 triangle bands. And now we are going to just loop all of the outside bands. So you're going to reach in where we placed on these 2 pegs the bands that we wrapped around 3 times. Grab the set of bands that are right underneath it that have a chip on it and loop that forward. Reach in here, push back the triangle band, and grab the set right here, not the bottom. So you reach in and grab, this one should have no chip on it, and then push back that triangle band, and this one is a chip, and then this one is just a double band. So we looped the row that we put on over the bottom row. So the bottom row is untouched, and this is the looped row. And now we do the same on this side. Reach in where that band is that we wrapped around 3 times, and loop the band that has a chip on it. Here's a triangle band, push it back, grab the next 2 bands, loop it forward, again, push back the triangle band, loop that should have a little chip on it, and then this one is 2 single bands. Once you've done that, take your thumb, cover this band right here just so it doesn't pop off, and you're popping off this layer. Do not take this off, make sure this stays on. So you make sure the bottom and the top stay on, and you're taking just everything else off and placing it over the peg like that on the outside. And see, this is incorrect because this should look like a triangle, so I'm going to fix that. And now that side is correct. Same on this side. Pop off every one. That goes on the outside, that goes on the outside, and that goes on the outside. We leave this one on and we leave the top on. So now we did that. Now we can add his arms and his legs. His leg is the one that we use triple bands. So you can feel the difference, it's thicker. You can place one leg on the bottom and the other leg. And then place his arm. His other one. Grab single glue bands and place a triangle band on these 3, on these 3, and on these 3. And those are the only triangle bands you need because the belly already had them with the cookie extension. And now we can loop. So you're going to reach in where his leg is, and you're going to push back his leg bands and the extension where the cookie is. And you're going to be grabbing, not the bottom, there's a bottom set right here, you're not grabbing that. You're grabbing the band that goes on the diagonal. So I'm going to push back the leg, the extension, and then I have exposed a middle band. But my leg popped off. If you're using jelly bands, that can happen. So I'm going to grab that middle band, and you know you got the right one because you'll see it pulling, and pull it to the middle. And the same on this one, push back. Try to push his leg down just so you can grab it. You're going to push back the extension and the other band and grab the middle. So I'm grabbing these 2 middle bands right here, and they go to this middle peg right here. And then I'm going to re-enter the peg and grab the bottom. So I re-enter and I grab the bottom set and loop it to the peg above. Same here, there should be 2 remaining caramel bands. Push back every band first, grab the 2 caramel bands, loop it forward. And that's the most tedious part of this project. Then reach in here, push back everything and grab the 2 caramel bands, loop that forward, and you can loop the middle all the way to this peg right here and then stop. Reach in here, make sure you're pushing back the triangle bands, grab the bottom 2, loop forward. Same here, there's a triangle band, push that back, grab the bottom 2 bands, loop forward. The Same thing here, push that triangle band back, grab the caramel bands, loop forward, same here. When you reach the arm, you're going to grab those 2 bands on the bottom and bring it to the middle. Same here, push back every band and you should just have 2 caramel bands on the bottom and bring it to the middle. Reach in here, this should be easy because this one has the blue band. So you just push back all of the caramel bands and grab the 2 blue. When you get to this part, grab the top 2 blue, and they should be the same bands that go together. Then grab the next set of top 2 blue, and then the black go to the middle. Reach in here, push back every band, grab the black, loop it forward. Same here. The middle you can loop all the way. That part is easy. Reach back to these 2, push this triangle band back, grab the bottom 2, loop it forward. Same here, push back this band, grab the bottom 2, loop it forward. This triangle band, push back, bottom 2, same here. Then when you get to these 2, you just grab them, bring it to the middle, same thing, bring it to the middle. Take your hook, go through all these bands, grab a blue band, pull it through every band like that, place the loop on your hook, take the other loop, place it over, like that, and that's a slip knot. And you can take him off. Depending on what kind of bands you use, you don't want to yank him. He does need another little step for his face, so if you're content the way he looks without it, you can leave it. But in order to make his face look bigger, we have to add some bands. So now this is what he looks like. This is the back of him. This is the front. He's not complete. You have to take these 2 bands right here and place his leg through it. And then take these 2 bands. You should see the loops. There should be 3 loops right here. Place his leg through it. And his arm should be in the middle, and it's not, so you grab these 2 brown bands that are in the back, take his arm and pull it through. Now his arm is set in the middle. Same here, there's these 2 bands in the back, take his arm, put it through, and then just adjust the cookie. You can put the chips where you want them, higher, lower. And for his face, you're going to grab your hook, and this is the front of your cookie, so this is the back, and you're going to go through these 2 blue bands, then that middle one, and then the other 2. So you should be grabbing 5 bands, and that's his, I guess, where his cheek is. And when you have them, you're going to pull 2 bands through it and put it on your hook. 2 more bands. Pull it through, put it on your hook, 2 more bands, pull it through, pull it on your hook. And what I do is I take the first loop off, just hold on to it, and you go through the back of Cookie, and you grab right under his eye, there's these 2 blue bands, and then these 2. So you grab the two and then take that loop that we were holding and place it on your hook. So it looks like that. And you can see it's shaping his face. Grab a single, and you can try to pull them all through if you want, or you can go one set of bands at a time just to make sure you get them all through. So now I have all those bands on that single band, and then I'm going to take my hook again and re-enter these bands right here. Grab the single band and pull it through the back. So now it looks like this in the back, and then that's when I'm going to create the slip knot. And this band gets hidden later on in the back. Since it's blue, it just matches. And now we do the other side. So this is the front of your cookie. Go through the back of him with your hook. Grab these two, the middle, and then these two. So you should be grabbing 5 all together just on the face part. Then grab 2 bands, pull it through, 2 more bands, pull it through, and then another 2 bands, and pull it through. And now I'm leaving this one on my finger, and I'm taking this hook and I'm going through these 2 blue loops in the back right underneath the eye, and these 2 blue loops, and then I'm taking the loop and putting it on my hook and following the same step, grabbing a single, placing it on my hook, and bringing the loops over one by one, all the sets. And now you know you did it right because you can slide it back and forth. Then I'm going to take my hook and go through these loops again, grab that single band, pull it through the back, make a slip knot, and I can hide that in the back. And that is how you create Cookie Monster's face. And then to add the finishing touch, you can take a Sharpie and just fill in his eye. And that's how you create Cookie Monster. And for the little loops that we had to tie him off, again, you don't have to do that part of his face. I just feel like it looks better. And then you could just go through the back and just hide the strands in the back and you can't even see it. And then you can leave the middle one because that's like the charm strap. And that's how we created Cookie Monster with a cookie in his belly on the loom. And I hope you enjoyed it. And thank you so much for watching.